Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 6. This is your host, Mary Hasworth Fernandez, and we've been doing an 8-week series entitled Rise Higher, excuse me, Break Free, and Live Unstoppable. I've been very excited about this series because it is really like a very dear to my heart event because there's so many little things happening that a lot of big things are happening that make a lot of little dominoes keep falling and standing up and falling and standing up. And one of those is when you set your sights on personal growth, it can be a lonely road. So, week 6, we're talking about exactly, let's give you the title, Overcoming Loneliness on the Growth Journey, and some wisdom tips to help you make that journey comfortably, powerfully, and without any loneliness, if we can do that. So here we go. Let's get down to 6 key things that I pulled from my research and my notes to help share this topic. You know, growth often requires stepping away from what's familiar to you. And sometimes, if that experience was good or bad, sometimes we can run away from what was familiar to us, even leaving some of the good stuff or letting fear step in there. And I brought up fear a few weeks ago about how fear can interrupt the flow. But personal development usually means breaking old habits, beliefs in old habits and beliefs, and some of your social circles that no longer support your goals. And this can feel kind of isolating because not everyone around you will understand your new direction or your path of growth. Now, sometimes if you're the one doing it, you almost feel a little different or a little isolated or a little lost or a little questioning of yourself. But if someone, has gone a different path than you chose, sometimes you can feel other emotions. But I believe everyone has good sound minds in your love circle and in your circle that you allow. And so just let people do what's best for them and you do what's best for you, but treasure those things that you will never break because you want to take things that matter most to you in life: family, career, uh, God first, family second, career third. And so those circles of fall under that, those people that fall under that, some of those treasures you will never let go because they mean the world to you and they almost shape who you are. But on that journey, I I had a revelation today because I was talking. It just was odd. It wasn't odd. It's just the way God works things out. He lines things up in such a way that you're in the right place at the right time, hearing the right thing. But I was talking with a powerful mentor, and I just love her style and I love the way she does things. And I know that mentors can elevate your way of thinking. And if you can find others on that same journey that you're on, then it would behoove me or an individual to run with those like-minded individuals. So that gave me a heavy um, thought to contemplate and to take some moments to reflect on so that I will stay aligned with what I feel God has given me. Sometimes we get that FOMO thing where you don't want to miss out, but you know what path you're on and you know all the different things you must do in this moment, in this season, in this time. So make sure you look at why you do what you do. One of the things we were talking about right off the bat was loneliness. You don't have to be lonely and isolated. You can share the journey with like minded individuals. So there is value in community and having people who get you, because guess what? If they're like minded, they're going through some of the same amazing moments of excitement, moments of fear, moments of, oh my goodness, nothing is impossible with God. And so, with you cheering each other on, that takes away that lonely road or that isolation, so that when you're in that lane of being mentored by a powerful, influential mentor, you can ping off of each other's energy and support one another on that journey because mentors usually have an elevated way of thinking and seeing things, and they can relate to what you're saying, but we're very accepting of people's choices. So, number two, internal work happens in solitude. And I have enjoyed the healing journey that I've been on, and the solitude of being able to focus on my goals, focus on my life, focus on my choices, focus on my needs, my health, my sincere desire goals, with my family being such a top priority because God has blessed me with this beautiful, beautiful husband of mine that I love dearly, and our beautiful children who are adults. It is important to reflect on those pivotal points in your life. So, true transformation often involves self reflection, self discipline, and confronting uncomfortable truths. I was wondering as I spoke, did I feel a chip of pain? Did I feel a chip of attitude? Did I feel a chip of fear? What was making me want to stay the course? Zoom, zoom, zoom. That elevated thinking of the mentor really lit my mind up and made me add in there. Am I doing this with a clean heart? Okay. So it'll reveal some truths inside in that quiet time. That inner work can be outside help, experts, or it can be all yours alone. And I guess we're really never alone because, when we have a mentor and a friend like Jesus, not that I'm telling you if you don't know him that you have to know him, but with a friend like Jesus and a guy like the Holy Spirit and Father God, and he gave us that comforter, that teacher, and that mentor, it makes you trust yourself more. And we talked about learning to trust yourself more. So, where does the value of a mentor come in when you're in that reflective state? Mentors definitely provide perspective and reassurance during internal battles. And that's what happened. The light of that mentor's voice put a light on some internal battles that may not be settled, completely cleaned and settled, where you understand the value of that journey or the value of the lesson learned without letting it turn into something else. So, the value of a mentor often means that they have walked the same path that you're on, and they can see the greater in you than you can really connect to. And I see the greater in my clients when they are talking about things they want, yet they have these challenges they're facing. So the value of a mentor is priceless, especially when you are on a different road, a different journey, a different path, better for all you've ever learned and better for all you've went through, but you're now on a road that not many people choose. So it's okay. Trust yourself, trust your faith, and trust that all you've been through has a reason and a purpose. So mentors, they are grateful when you run into those moments of self-doubt or feel like you're doing it yourself or losing your way. Now, number three, success changes are just part of the environment. And I have this free group I do called Success Strategies for You. That's to elevate our thinking, that's to have a place to share some of your thoughts, some of your questions, and to hear from one another. Now, when you're there and we like to be spectators, sometimes we can be a spectator for years before we activate and jump on board. Nothing wrong with that, but are you uh, getting value from being there? The value of alignment comes in here when you're talking about success changes in your environment. When you intentionally surround yourself with aligned individuals, those who share your vision and your value, your journey feels lighter and more alive. Do you know that's like looking in a mirror talking to myself after that session with my mentor? You don't have to be distracted by internal battles. You can be inspired and encouraged by taking that journey with aligned individuals. And you could be open to higher growth, faster growth, and challenges. Open. Are you open? I look in the mirror and say, Mary, are you open? Are you sincerely open to the choices you made? Or are you holding on to yesterday's pain, yesterday's fears, or yesterday's doubts? What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? This is your host, Mary Haswell Fernandez. We're in week 6 of Rise Higher, Rise Higher, Live Free. And then live unstoppable. Rise higher, break free, and live unstoppable. That thing is in my head. I don't have it written down here, but I do have it in my heart. So, it's okay to grow as you share with others. That's why this path of shining the light on your heart, shining a light on your intentions, shining a light on your hangups, your fears, these things can help you grow past, I guess we call them stumbling blocks. So let's go on to number 4 because I only want to keep you here a short period of time. And if you find value, please like and subscribe to my channel at Mary Executive Coach. And if you want to be part of the growth journey, there is a place over there called Success Strategies for You. I have the link on my website. And then we have our new paid group membership, and that's called High Impact with Purpose, Power, and Productivity. Because I see a lot of my clients and a lot of my circle are asking about wanting to do this, wanting to do that, don't know how to do it. I say jump in and let's focus in on you and what it is you say you want. I am an activator of dreams and goals, and I would love to see you happily handling what you must handle in your life, but grabbing a hold of those goals and dreams and not putting them aside because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right. So let's talk about number 4. Ambition can be misunderstood. I mean, when people look at you and all you hear them say is, girl, you are so busy. I am. Now I relate to what they're saying. I am when I'm in the zone of productivity and I have a lot of chess play pieces on the board. When you're aligning them for the win, you want to make sure that you let none of those details drop through the basket because if you're cooking a dinner like a Thanksgiving dinner or a big meal, you have several things going on at one time. When we have younger families, or when my family was younger, you're in there, you're doing all these different dishes at one time, one flowing right after the other. One has to be cooked maybe starting at 3 a.m. and marinated at night. But then when the next day come, you have them rolling out one after the other, getting done, rolls rising, and the food smelling so good, mac and cheese and all those things lined up. And you were like in your flow. That looked chaotic to a lot of people. When we are older or we have been on the journey a while, something happens also that may require us doing things differently. And one of those things that we could do differently is everyone cooks a dish, everyone brings a dish. All the load is not on you. So that's the power again of community. And that is a lesson that I am teaching myself. Don't miss the opportunity to be part of a community. So get all those chess pieces lined up and clear your board so that you'll be ready to run and take advantage of the fact that you have others who think along the same lines, who have specific goals for specific values and reasons. And if you share the journey, it's much lighter. So being a part of a supportive circle normalizes you. It normalizes your ambition and helps maintain a balance. I mean, humility and emotional health, that is what is needed. And so I'm thinking, okay, it didn't make sense to me to set myself up for major chaos or distractions, but it makes sense to align myself with a powerful circle of people on their way. Some people want to achieve to bless this area or bless that area or bless that area. I saw a young lady this morning and she was talking about how a 93-year-old Holocaust victim was alive and well, but she needed food and support, and she was all alone. But her journey was to see those individuals, get them food, and make sure they were well. So what I want to do is make sure that I'm blessing those that I've been called to bless. And I'm prioritizing making sure I have the balance of addressing being with family and providing a quality life for family as I serve others. So it's like your picture does not make sense to others, but that's okay. It makes sense to you. And in a community, you'll find that many times you're saying the same thing. You're feeling the same pull and you're feeling the same values, but for your own reasons. And I am impressed with the fact how the teacher is taught. So don't be afraid of learning and growing and being inspired by an expert mentor, coach, and a community of like minded individuals. So we said we're going to do 6 points on how the personal growth journey can be lonely, or we can tweak some things so it doesn't have to be lonely unless you choose to do things alone. Got it? All right. So number 5, y'all, accountability is hard to maintain alone. I feel so, as she said, convicted, convicted, because I accountability gives you acceleration, and I teach accelerating your process and your progress. Accountability is very hard to maintain alone. So as I clear that domino board and the door is still open to be accountable, I'm going to take advantage of being accountable to my elevated thinking expert coach, because it's like looking in the mirror. When you can eat from the table that you have had prepared before you and share it with others, why not? So, dear listeners, I pray you're finding value in this and that it's making your lights go on in your head in such a way that you're thinking of, yeah, I could benefit from that. Yeah, I could rethink that. Yeah. Because I reclaimed a lot of my time because certain things had changed and I needed to be free to be a little bit more flexible. And all of a sudden, great things are happening, more opportunities, more perspective is coming. And imagine having a laser focused coach, mentor, and then like minded individuals. So I am finding a lot of value in the fact that the timing of the call today from my mentor, one of my mentors, was so perfect that it made me know how to accelerate my progress. So you have to keep your cup full so that you have something to pour out from. So don't worry if this timing for major changes isn't good for you. You go the path that's best for you. You make your own choices. Now we're going to move on to the value of mentors and peers, because of accountability being hard by itself, you'll have mentors, but you'll also have peers. I want to tell you why this is so important. As I have lived my life, and I've seen great, wonderful people with great families bring up their children. And I've also seen the children grow up and go live their own lives, which is wonderful, which is the dream we want for them. But then I've also seen individuals alone with no outside interests, no outside groups except for their children, their adult children, and maybe occasionally they may uh, see a grandchild. But in the different scenarios I have seen, when some of my dear associates have gotten to a certain point of health or a certain point of a level of even accomplishment in business, it's a lonely place because there's no one there like them, cheering them on, celebrating their lives. And then I see, and y'all, please hear my heart. Then I see extra medical care show up, and I see family come when they can. And of course, the story and the path. So set our lives up is my message that I got from watching and being available to see other things. But make sure you don't set yourself up for a lonely life and a lonely journey. Mentors and peers keep us accountable. It offers us feedback, honest, remind you of your why when things get tough. All right. Both hands still on fire, still going to get the nerve scan. Don't want a bunch of medication, but take what I have to take. Learning to walk again and chew gum, but showing up for the dream and for the mission. And we have to do what we have to do in the midst of all these storms and uncertainty because giving up is not an option. Okay, y'all? Giving up is not an option. And next, I want to give you one more tip. Is make sure you're living it all out. Make sure you're passionate about what you're doing. Make sure that if you make a mistake, it's okay to get up, brush it off, and run on. Because you are loved and you're admired by people you don't even know are in your corner. So basically, as we get ready to close this up, personal growth can be a lonely climb. It can be a lonely journey. But if you allow a community, if you allow mentorship to transform your journey from solitary grinding on your own by yourself, and you share the adventure, a full connection of encouragement and deeper meaning and aha moments, and it just becomes more of a full experience. What a journey, y'all. What a journey. So, this has been your host, week 6 of Break Free, Live, Break Free, Rise Higher, and Live Unstoppable, with your host, Mary Hasworth Fernandez. I hope you have enjoyed the topics thus far. In review, we talked about growth often requires stepping away, internal work. It happens, but it happens sometimes in solitude. Success changes your environment. And look, you don't want to be out there successful by yourself with no peers and no equals. That is why it is so important to power up your search. Accountability is hard to maintain alone. Now, all these ping me, these are from, I mean, prepared these weeks ago. And here I am reviewing search topics with you, and they're fresh. They're fresh, speaking to my heart. So don't forget to eat from the table that's prepared before you. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your day. This is your host, Mary Hesba Fernandez of Leadership, Legacies, and Legends. Find me over on woohighbymary.com, an MHF subsidiary. And I just love what I do. And I love taking care of people. I love taking care of family. And above all, I want to follow the call on my life. Be well, everyone. It's been a great pleasure. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye bye.